There's a lot of discussion today about the food we eat. There's foods that are good for us and benefit our bodies and brains, but there are also foods that are harmful and that we would be wise to avoid. So let's have a talk to Dr. Delia McCabe, a nutritional neuroscientist. She's done a lot of research into how the foods we eat impact our brain. Welcome, Delia. So are there really foods that harm our brains?
Absolutely. Refined foods full of damaged fats, full of refined sugar, full of too much salt, and full of additives and flavorants. All of those compounds damage the brain directly.
So these are highly processed foods?
Yes, they're factory foods. They come out of factories, they benefit the manufacturer, they do not benefit the health of our body or our brain at all.
So these are good superfoods for the brain, natural foods, plant-based foods, and the foods that harm us are the highly processed, highly refined foods that come in cardboard boxes and bags and crinkly paper and so forth.
You probably get more nutrients out of the cardboard than what's actually in the box. So those are to be avoided at all costs.
Please give us some examples of these toxic foods that harm our brains.
When you go to the center of any supermarket, Gary, you find highly colorful packets full of things like crisps, lollies, very, very flavorful with additives and preservatives, all to titillate our taste buds and make it seem like the food tastes better than it does. All of those compounds damage not just the body, but the very delicate and sensitive brain. We know that they affect how neurons develop and how neurons grow. So we want to avoid them at all costs. They're truly toxic to all of our cells.
So we're talking about soft drinks, fast foods, highly processed cereals.
Even worse, so-called healthy granola bars full of sugar and damaged fat. Then we've got the so-called healthy drinks full of refined sugar, and even the ones that don't have any sugar have got artificial sugar in them. So we're just adding insult to injury with all these toxins and all these so-called foods that aren't actually foods. They're just palatable compounds.
So Delia, we've got a choice to make. On the one hand, we've got all these fabulous superfoods, natural plant-based foods, or we've got these highly refined, highly processed, unnutritious foods competing for our attention, for our money, for our choice.
The challenge is, Gary, that when children start eating this food when they're really young, the highly refined foods, their taste buds want that kind of food. They need to be taught to like this beautiful, healthy food, because it's not full of the crackle and the crunch and the highly refined sugars that give their taste buds that immediate boost. So we as parents really have to be responsible, and as adults we have to make the right decision, because ultimately we end up being sick and pathetic because we're not eating the foods that nature provides.
And what I really love about this is these foods, these superfoods, are the foods that God originally gave us. We are designed to be fueled by these natural plant-based superfoods.
If people just remember, as close to nature as possible is best for us. Avoid factory food, avoid the middle of the supermarket, avoid any packet that is crinkly and brightly colored. All toxic, not what our cells need.
Thanks for sharing this important information with us, Delia. This is information that can change our lives.
It's a pleasure, Gary.
If you would like to know more about keeping your brain in tip-top condition, then I'd like to recommend the free gift we have for you today. It's the popular booklet, Foods That Harm the Brain. Just go to our Incredible Journey website, tij.tv, or scan the QR code on your screen to request your free e-copy now.